Tonight on The Roast, smokers to pay more for cigarettes and Vodafone's 3 remaining customers to pay less for international roaming. But first, we have finally gotten closure over those corruption allegations against former New South Wales State Ministers Eddie Obeid and Ian McDonald.
The New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption has recommended former Labor ministers Ian McDonald and Eddie Obeid face criminal charges over a coal mining deal.
Hang on, wait, what? Sorry, the inquiry that went on for months and months was just to get a recommendation to go to a court where Obeid and McDonald might be found guilty.
Yes, that's what I just said.
Well, that's a pretty weird process.
Are you questioning the New South Wales legal system?
No, I'm not. I love the New South Wales legal system. The last time, sound over guy, just cool it. Now, the scale and breadth of these allegations is actually pretty startling. You see, there is some weird shit in here. Really weird, and we'll get to it, I promise. But first, here's the central allegation. The inquiry heard Mr McDonald granted the lucrative Mount Penny coal mining lease over land owned by the Obeid family, and that the Obeids encouraged their friends to buy up land in the area and secretly hid their involvement in mining projects through complex company structures. So, Eddie Obeid owned land which was then leased for coal mining, organised secretly by Ian McDonald. Okay, now I know you've been dying to hear the weird shit, and you were very good during that last boring bit, so here we go. The inquiry also heard that Ian McDonald received payment from Ron Medich in the form of the services of a sex worker. Now that's pretty weird, but wait for it. Ian McDonald and the prostitute did not have sex. Instead, he stayed clothed and kissed and fondled Tiffany, who took off all of her clothes except for her underwear. Now, the sex worker in question appeared at the inquiry and, in front of everyone, in a packed courtroom investigating corruption worth millions of dollars, described Ian McDonald as mysterious, annoying, and gross.
Objection, Your Honour. Why is it relevant how annoying my gross client is? And I mean, come on, he's sitting right here.
Overall.
Well, there you go, Your Honour. If your mission was to make my client cry, then mission accomplished.
Now, ICAC's finding of corruption is the last thing the New South Wales Labor Party needs right now. Before this damning judgment, the ALP only managed to win 20 of the 135 seats in New South Wales Parliament, and some of those seats are obstructed view, so they're in dire straits. And you've got to wonder whether New South Wales Labor can really survive this scandal.
I remember when there used to be a Labor Party in this state, back when little Ruby here was, Evans, probably about this big. And they were successful too. But they won't win an election now. No, sir. No. Not since the New South Wales split of 2017, when all the members left to join the much more popular No Parking Meters party. It was the corruption that did it. Yes, that Mr. Obeid and Mr. McMillan? McDonald, yes. I remember we did an episode about it on my television program.
You had a TV show?
I did.
Oh.
It was on the ABC too.
Kids from the future, am I right? But what could this New South Wales Labor crisis mean for federal Labor? Well, opposition leader Tony Abbott has already tried to link the scandal to the federal party, saying that it exposes the rottenness at the heart of the New South Wales Labor Party and the rottenness at the heart of the Labor Party nationally, which is ridiculous because in reality there is no link between the two parties. Well, except for Deputy Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who's married to Carmel Tebbit, the New South Wales Labor MP for Marrickville. And federal MPs Tony Burke and Stephen Conroy, who enjoyed a free stay at Eddie Obeid's ski lodge. And Foreign Minister Bob Carr, former Premier and leader of the New South Wales Labor Party, who let McDonald and Obeid serve in his government. I guess what I'm saying is there's kind of a link between the two parties. I'm really going to turn this time. Next up tonight, I've got some bad news for smokers. You are slowly killing yourself. But also, the federal government is expected to announce a series of tax increases on tobacco in tomorrow's mini-budget. The increase will see a series of 4 12.5% annual increases in federal tobacco excise, adding $5.25 to the cost of a packet of 20 cigarettes by December 2016. So the way things are going, it won't be long until passive smoking is the only way some people could afford to get their nicotine fix.
Hey man, can I bum a cloud? Oh, so good! So good.
And yet, smokers are a resilient bunch, right up until they die prematurely. But even the Grim Reaper's terrifying Swiss Army stick doesn't deter them, which is why the government needs to launch a new ad campaign to tie in with their new tax.
Every cigarette is costing you money. This is the wallet of a pack-a-day smoker. And this is how much money a smoker has left after they've paid for cigarettes. This is the bank balance of a pack-a-day smoker. And this is the bank balance of a pack-a-day smoker cut into pieces and covered in tar. Every cigarette is expensive. Canberra.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to have the same impact, although I did like the bit when everything was covered in tar. But where is the smokers' tax money going? Well, it's expected that the government will receive an extra $5.3 billion over 4 years, with that money going towards cancer research and some of the government's new spending commitments. So for those of you contributing to the government's anti-smoking, pro-money campaign, Jazz Twemlow has this special message.
Tom, I'm here to pay respect to Australia's smoking heroes, who will soon be contributing $5 billion to the economy, to the 16% of men and 14% of women who still smoke, in defiance of the health warnings, photographs of toes that look like they came off a Bilbo Baggins zombie foot, mangled teeth, and lungs that look like burnt mince. Thank you for your dedication. Despite the overwhelming tide of scientific evidence over the decades, anecdotal evidence, and even the personal evidence of your own bodies decaying in real time, you kept going to safeguard our economy. So if you haven't quit yet, thank you so much for the $5 billion which can now be spent on cancer research that you largely made necessary. We dedicate this statue to you, you wheezing, heroic idiots.
And finally tonight, Vodafone Australia, the telecommunications provider that's currently as popular as a punch in the face, made a bold announcement overnight.
Your call could not be connected. Please check the number and try again.
No, that was their old announcement. Could you read the new one?
Vodafone will eliminate widespread bill shock by capping global roaming fees at $5 per day for customers travelling overseas.
At the end of August, Vodafone customers will pay just $5 a day extra for global roaming, instead of the $4.2 billion it currently costs to receive a text. Now, the announcement was made yesterday in a Vodafone press release entitled "Game Changer. Vodafone moves to end international roaming rort." Right there in their own press release, they're acknowledging that what they've been doing all this time is a complete scam. It'd be like circus folk releasing a press release entitled "Dirty Rotten Circus Folk to Stop Scamming Idiots with Glued Down Cups." And they know they've been us. I mean, look at this photo from their international roaming webpage of a man who has just received his Vodafone bill. So it's a huge change, making it more affordable than ever to be antisocial globally.
With the new Vodafone International Roaming Cap, you'll be able to stay in touch with all those people you bought flights to get away from. For just $5 a day, you won't miss even one of your friend's mundane status updates. It's our new "You Could Have Done This at Home" data plan. From Vodafone, power to you.
Now, the interesting thing is, beginning next month, a new international roaming standard will simply require Australian telcos to warn customers they'll be with higher fees overseas. Telcos don't have to stop us, they can still us. They just need to tell us beforehand. Whereas Vodafone thought, what if instead of our customers, we try not them as much? For more, we're joined by telecommunications expert Nick Richardson here in the studio. Nick.
Tom.
Nick, how have the other telcos responded to Vodafone's announcement?
Oh, they are pissed. I mean, what kind of an idiot thought up the idea to not over customers with exorbitant international roaming charges? I mean, this is something all the telcos did, something they all got away with. They were onto a good thing, and now that sweet, sweet gravy train has stopped. I mean, these phones, fresh out of gravy.
Yeah, but isn't that a good thing?
No. Oh, well, I mean, yes, obviously for the customers it's a good thing, but no, not for the telcos. I mean, do you know how much money was invested into training the staff to deal with people who've just been by international roaming?
A $9 grand bill for 2 days of use. Yeah, that sounds just about right. Why do we you so much with international roaming? Sorry, you're breaking up. You're on Vodafone.
Well, it's about time the court started getting onto this international roaming bullshit.
Hey, don't criticise the legal system!
Sorry.